Sometimes the King James English is hard to understand. And you may say, well, Pastor King, why do you use the King James to teach? And I say simply this is because I like it and I've grown up with it. But Proverbs chapter 6, my son, if thou be surety for thy friend, or if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger. You might say, well, Pastor King, what is that talking about? Well, it's talking about money. And it's talking about a person's relationship with money and how important it is that a person have a handle on their money and their finances, because it will dictate so many things in a person's life. And I am a perfect example of that. In my early days of ministry, I was handling my money very, very well. My wife and I, we were doing well, pastoring a small church, and everything was being paid, and things were going well. And one day, we were going to make a trip out west to Eugene, Oregon, to our national convention. We were going to be on the road for about 18 days. And I was at a little convenience store, and I saw this little coupon thing. There was kind of an application for a Visa card. And I said, well, I think I'll do that. And I'm telling you what, that opened a can of worms. It took us 15 years to correct. And when we made the determination that we were never going to borrow money ever again, it changed our lives. It took us a while, but we paid everything off, and we said, we'll never make that mistake again. But what I come to realize, this thing was controlling me. It was affecting my life. It was affecting my relationship with my wife. It was affecting my relationship with my children. It was affecting ministry and my ability to do ministry. And so I have sought to tell people, look, this thing is a snare. It's a trap. And one of the things he talks about here, he says, being surety for that friend. In other words, co-signing for somebody else. I'm going to tell you something. You do that, and you'll get stuck with it. It's a very good possibility that that debt will become yours. And I don't care. I don't care if they're a friend or whatever. I don't want to pay somebody else's bills. And then he talks about being indebted to a stranger. In other words, when you owe people money, then they have power over you. That's why I don't want to owe anybody money. And this is a part of the teachings of the Proverbs. He said, look, get it under control. Understand, you have power over this. And a lot of times that power just simply says, say no. No, I don't have to have that. Think about this. There could be somebody, and they're living in this great, big, beautiful house, and they owe on it, and they're paying on it every month. And you live in a small house over here, but it's paid for. To ask yourself the question, who really is the one that has wealth? When you own it, you don't owe anybody, versus that person who owes everybody. Well, for me, I don't want to be that person. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.